What's good? This your man Hurykane. Tell you what it do, and we back. Pastor Kane's back. Second sermon. Get it from God. You already know what it is. Shouts out to everybody that is on their way in the church. Let the church doors open at Hurricane Night Baptist Church. Or should I say Traptist Church? Put the motherfucking book in your hand and spread the word around the world. But inside that book is gonna be a sack. I need you to flip that shit and bring the money back. Much love to Crystal is cool. Welcome. Welcome to the church. It's the second sermon. Much love to the goddess Crystal, one of the lovely goddesses of the church. You know what I'm saying? We only have the best goddesses. The best. But we'll get off into a couple clips from Deconstructing Christianity. I'm doing cool. I'm doing great. I'm doing phenomena, astronomical. I'm feeling systematic, automatic. I'm feeling hydromatic. Wow, this grease lightning. I'm crazy with it. I'm crazy. I don't know why I thought of that old ass fucking grease movie. But oh man, I don't know why I thought of that shit. But yeah, I'm feeling cool. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope everybody having a wonderful day. You missed my last live. Best believe I'm gonna catch this one, damn it. That's right. That's right. Yeah, the first one was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Everybody came through. You know what I'm saying? Glad you here. Oh, I forgot what we talked about in the last sermon on some real shit. I'm high because I'm most high, mostly high, but I'm most high. Spark up your sage, light up your frankincense, and get high, high, high. Smoke like a chimney. Matter of fact, I smoke like a gun when the killer sea is in. Stars P in the church, y'all. But yeah, which one we gonna get to first? Gonna go to is this it? I'm not sure. Hold on, let me go to view all. Let me go to my view all. Shouts out to everybody. Shouts out to Relentless. Shouts out to Crystal is cool. Salute, salute. Welcome to the church. You here? But we gonna go to deconstructed Christianity. Adam and Eve never had free will. We can get this over with. You know what I'm saying? Might as well go from Old Testament to New. Might as well talk about it. You know what I'm saying? This is from Deconstructed Christianity coach Lorenzo Reed. Coach Reed. You know what I'm saying? He the coach.
Let this soft mineral melt.
All right, let's let this ad go away.
So you can say goodbye to your optometrist for good. Did you know there is a natural way to enhance your eyesight?
Oh my fucking God.
3% of the population.
I'm hitting the fucking skip button and this shit is not fucking skipping.
Studies. Scientists.
Because when we move forward,
Jesus fucking Christ.
morally bad if you don't have the knowledge of good and evil. So then, therefore, you do not have the ability.
Hold on, we gotta go back.
You wouldn't know if something was morally good or morally bad if you don't have the knowledge of good and evil. So then, therefore, you do not have the ability of agency and self-determination. So this gentleman is responding to a statement that another person made on a video, on one of my videos, and where the other person was saying that truly it was the serpent who gave Adam and Eve freedom in the garden. That by convincing them that they should eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they actually gain agency, self-determination, which self-determination is what determines what kind of person that you're going to be, or moral stance you're going to take, whether you take risk or not. You develop your personality by your knowledge of your morality, by the standards of your morality. So when this gentleman is saying that they always had freedom that this God had gave them, hence they had the option to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, did they truly have freedom when there is a threat of death at hand?
Right. Do you really truly have freedom when there's a threat of death at hand? Great question, coach. Great fucking question. And here's another question. How come when they bit from the tree or whatever, took fruit from whatever, the angels in heaven was like, hey, yo, God, well, those motherfuckers bit from this tree and now they just like us. That key shit right there. Now they just like us. That shit right there be like, oh shit, I got powers. Blast. I would have flew up there and started shooting angels. Hurykane, you crazy. Yeah, because why the fuck you put this tree down here in the first place if you know we're going to fuck with it? On some real shit. That's the real question. Over here, we gonna ask some questions. Gonna ask some questions. Look at that. Why the fuck you put the tree in the garden? You know what I'm saying? This is a motherfucking guy that want to play 4D, 5D chess playing all sides of the goddamn board. Exactly. Why you put the tree in there in the first damn place? Yep, exactly. And then tell me not to touch it. Fuck you. This is the nicest looking tree in this bitch, probably. It probably was glistening greatness and light. It probably was the nice looking motherfucker in that motherfucking garden and shit. Test of obedience. Let me tell you something. The test of obedience, right? You just created me, right? Test of obedience, right? I don't even know what obedience means. But all I know is I was created out of dirt and I'm hearing a voice from the fucking sky saying that they created me and I can have all this shit. Bet. And even then, it's not like immediately gonna serve you. I'm like, oh shit, I was created from you. Oh, all right. I get to keep all this. All right, cool, bet. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, nigga. That's what I say.
Can you truly have freedom if someone were to tell you, I don't know what country you live in, but let's say you lived in a country where they tell you you are absolutely, you have freedom. But if you drive on the right side of the road, you will die. So you have the freedom to drive. But if you drive on the right side, you will die. You will die because people are coming at you. You'll die because of anything that happens with anybody else. But you simply are just going to die if you drive on the right side of the road. That's not freedom. You then choose not to drive on the right side of the road because you fear the death. But here's the problem. How can Adam and Eve have been able to fear death if they did not know what death is?
Exactly. How can they fear death if they did not know what death is? Just like I said, go back to the test of obedience. What the fuck is obedience? I just popped up out the clear blue, surrounded by trees and animals and shit that you're telling me the name, by the way. How the fuck did that process go? Nigga just walked up to something, the motherfucking creature looked at Adam and Adam was like, you a deer. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call you a deer. They probably said the first thing that came to his mind. Shit, nigga, a lion. He probably made it to the lion when he was tired. Like, man, I don't know what to name this motherfucker. Shit. Oh, fuck it. How about lion? Lion, though, leader of the Thundercats. Thundercats. Oh, some real shit.
I remember telling my children when they were in their 2, 3, 4 years old, don't play play out in the street, you might get hit by a car and die. My children at 2, 3 years old had no idea what death was.
Right. Children at 2 or 3 year old, don't play in the street or you're gonna die. Right. They did not know what it was. But like, let me tell you how he had to break it down. Shout out to Jalen. What's good? What's good? What's good, Loyal? What's good, bro? What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Hurykane Night Traptist Church, where we gonna ask. We gonna ask some questions about every motherfucker thing.
At that time frame, they never experienced a death in a family, never been to a funeral, didn't have pets, so they didn't know what death was. The closest thing they would have known of death, maybe when I got a little bit older, is when they were watching the little anime stuff. But this was much later in their lives. They watched cartoons where, you know, Wile E. Coyote gets blown up by bombs. Cartoons, people get hit by cars, and no one, and they come back. They get up, they walk away from it. So they had no idea what death was. So how could I explain to them and say, if you play in the street, you get hit by a car and die? They didn't know that. So I had to explain it to them in pain situations. When you get hit by a car, I had to describe a pain that they knew about. You see, they had to have knowledge of it in order for them to then create their agency about playing in the street. I should listen to Dad, because Dad explained that, oh, remember that time when you got stung by a wasp and the amount of pain that you felt? Imagine a pain as if 100 wasps stung you. That's what it would feel like if you got hit by a car.
And that's the scary part. Like, why would he choose wasps? I'm so fucking scared of fucking flying shanks. It ain't fucking funny. You ever heard a nigga scream like a bitch? That's Hurykane when he see a fucking wasp. Like, they shit, man, shit. Ain't no shame in my game. I ain't scared of nothing else on this motherfucking planet. But a goddamn flying shank. You're supposed to be looking for flowers and pollen and shit to go back to the queen, but your ass on a free roam? That's some scary shit. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Nigga, bees and wasps be doing some GTA lobby shit every fucking day.
My oldest daughter Sydney was like, oh, hell no. She didn't say, oh, hell no. But in her mind, you could see the facial expression was, oh, hell no.
My mom was diagnosed with severe dementia at 78. Today, at 82.
The vaccine.
When we moved to Florida, she got stung by a wasp. Right? And Florida got critters all over the place. But the point is, she understood it based on a relationship that she had with pain when a wasp stung her. So when I related that to a car, she understood. Adam and Eve had no concept of death, so they don't have freedom. But that was the punishment. So they still don't have freedom. Because you have something that is not, it's not a car, it's not a gun, it's not something, a sword, it's not something that that tool can create death. It is just having knowledge. You will die. Maintain your state of infancy, maintain your state of unknowingness. Then you can live. What does even that mean? What is life? What is that existence? Without having agency, which is what they did not have.
Right.
So to say that they had freedom, no, they had an ultimatum. Choice A, choice B. And here's the thing. You lack the mental comprehension to understand choice A, choice B. That's not freedom. That's robotics. That's indoctrination. That's slavery. That's a mental slavery. Leave this plantation, you will die. Don't pick that cotton, you will die. Don't have my clothes ready for me, you will die. That's slavery. So when they gain the knowledge of good and evil, now they have the ability to be able to determine what is morally right, what is morally wrong. True, the overwhelming majority of their morality will be based on subjective morality. They're based on their experiences, how they desire to live, power struggles, all kinds of different things. but it becomes their subjective morality for them to self-identify, and then as a couple to be able to group identify, and then in the raising of children to have a family identification. This comes because you have something to build your moral standard on, because you know the difference between good and evil. At this point, now Adam can say, oh, I slapped the shit out of Eve last week. That was bad. Or he said, when I kicked Adam in the nuts, that was bad. When I brought Eve some water fresh from the lagoon, I squirted a little lemon in it and everything, put a little pomegranate, and she liked it, that was good. I brought her some flowers, that was good. Oh, and I, made the leaf bed, and I know he liked a little extra leaves for his head, that was good. When I picked some of them pineapples and he liked it, that was good. You see, you have something you can base it on. Without that, you just pick some pineapples, he ate it, whatever. You kicked them in the nuts, felt some pains, but you don't know the difference between good and evil. So whatever. You know it causes pain. That's all you know. But you don't have the concept that that's a bad thing. You get that? You understand? Kick you in the nuts, but you don't have the concept it's a bad thing. It's kind of like when a child walks up to another child on the playground, see them playing with the toy. The toy may be the toy that they have at home, or it's just a toy. And that other child desires to play with the toy. So they go and they take the toy from the child. The one who took the toy doesn't register that as a bad thing. What they registered is that I wanted to play with the toy. And so they took it and they played with it. The other child cries. The other child's upset. This child may not even recognize that that's a bad thing. They may have some empathy or some sympathy for the child because they've experienced a similar situation, but they did not know prior to going up and taking the toy, this is a bad thing. And even after taking the toy, they still don't realize it's a bad thing. They just might have empathy for the child. And if you say that through that process, Adam and Eve, the plan of God was for Adam and Eve to learn the difference between good and bad through life experiences.
That's right.
It's just stupid.
That's right, Chris.
And here's why it's stupid. That means that they have to go through every process to find out whether something is good or bad. That means that somebody has to murder somebody before they realize that it's good or bad. Somebody has to beat somebody before they realize if it's good or bad. Someone has to show love and kindness to someone before they realize it's good or bad. So you got to go through those. I got to slap you, I got to kick you, I got to murder you, I got to stab you, I got to cause pain to you physically or emotionally in order for me to then learn it's good or bad. We don't do that with our children. No, we tell them, you don't hit, that's bad. You don't steal, that's bad. You don't tell lies, that's bad. Imagine how long it would have taken for them to realize that lying is bad. And this is why you tell your children up front. Yet this God did not want to. He wanted to keep them in this infantile mindset. He wanted to keep them enslaved mentally, locked down, without freedom.
Exactly. Because that's why the angels told God, like, yo, God, those motherfuckers ate that fruit. Now they just like us. They no good and evil now, nigga. They might find out the truth and be like, fuck us, nigga.
They gained freedom and agency. The moment that they realized that this guy lied. He lied. Because in the day that they ate the fruit, no one died.
Exactly.
No one died.
They talk about you will surely die. I think they said Adam and Eve lived in the 400s, 500 years old. Yeah, that's crazy.
And I know I keep having to repeat it. But there was young, it's a 24-hour day. Not an age, not a season, none of that. And First Peter, that doesn't work either.
Don't mix pink salt with lemon and 2 other ingredients in your entire wardrobe in less than a week.
Now, next video, the dogs edit that. It went straight to a damn ad. But glad everybody's in the building. The church doors are open. Hurricane tonight trapped this church. Where was it at? Should I go to his new one or should I go to one before that? All right, I did the element he never existed. That was 2 minutes. All right, yeah. Did fake Jesus appear to 500 people? Here we go. This back to the coach.
So, par with that. Here, Jesus' death by Roman crucifixion, which we're about to look at in a way that very few people have ever seen in your audience. I've had to travel the world to bring these artifacts to your program. Jesus.
I had to travel the world to bring these artifacts to your program. That's some bullshit artifacts because the real artifacts is hidden under the Vatican. The Masons got it. Rosicrucians got some. Illuminati got some. And some of these museums, they be hiding that shit in the back. And in the unauthorized motherfucking section where only secret people come in with the suits on and shit. Look like a motherfucker got Secret Service members just for motherfucking just to go to one room and see some shit.
Jesus' death by Roman crucifixion is the best established fact of the ancient world. If we cannot believe that Jesus died by
That's what's up. That's what's up. Like after I'm done with this, I'm gonna head over there too. Make sure y'all subscribe to Bearded Conversations. And make sure y'all subscribe to Monkey Man and Pastor Pimpin and Archbishop. Keep flowing dollars all day. And make sure y'all go to the Bearded Tabernacle. Y'all know it. Make sure y'all stop by and say what's up. Check in the church. As I am part of them both. That's right. This video we're talking about, did Jesus appear in front of 500 people? Now, we already know that motherfucking Jesus ain't feed 5,000 people with a motherfucking 2-piece fish sandwich and some motherfucking, or whatever else he had. It ain't possible. A 2-piece fish sandwich to feed 5,000 people? That nigga had GMO meat floating out of a motherfucking manna machine. It was a goddamn manna machine in that bitch. And speaking of manna, there was like God dropped manna from heaven. Motherfucker was eating dirty shit off the ground and shit. This manna good. What the fuck is manna? Can anybody let me know in the comments? What the fuck is manna? Is it motherfucker like honey motherfucker potato chips or something?
crucifixion. The only thing on par with that, historically speaking, are the Roman emperors themselves. Let that sink in. And I mean on par with that by the sources that we have for Jesus. Okay, so then what are the sources? Because I'll hear this. I mean, I'll hear things like, I remember before I was totally convinced. You'd hear things like, there were 500 eyewitnesses to the resurrection, which is not something that I say. But, you know, what's the evidence? Right. The evidence is the letter written to the Corinthians by Saul of Tarsus.
The letter, really? Where is that letter? Because usually a motherfucker put that letter and seal that bitch in the glass case like they got the Declaration of Independence or the Bill of Rights. Ain't that shit in the case somewhere with the letters fading off?
No serious scholar doubts that Paul wrote it. I've been to Corinth, where literally the Church of Corinth was that Paul's writing to. It's written in the early 50s.
They go that Paul name again. You know how Paul is. What people need to understand, this is some bullshit, and none of these people ever existed. Manna is some kind of bread. So God dropping bread from heaven. And that shit landing on the ground, all dirt and dirt on it and shit. What the fuck, niggas had to come out with a basket? Like, all right, grab your baskets. God about to drop some manna from heaven, y'all. I wonder what type of cloud that was dropping that shit. Or did it just motherfucker come out the sky on some Truman Show shit? Like the shit just motherfucking fell out, like the motherfucking light. That shit crazy.
That tradition, though, rises up within 6 weeks of the resurrection event itself, which is 20 years prior. You have 11 sources that talk of Jesus' death by Roman crucifixion within a historically plausible, acceptable timeline of 100 years.
Get him, coach.
that you do surgery, you're gonna
This
fill
bullshit ass ad. God damn it.
on the next spine.
Years. And that's just that you are able to use the Bible to verify the fact that you believe Jesus was crucified by crucifixion. Yeah, that's what crucified means. But
Exactly. Why don't he feed the homeless and needy? Why don't he come down here and stop the evil people that's doing the trafficking shit? Also, why don't he just stop the people that he know killing us through the food, through the water, through the air, through disease? He can do this shit in the blink of an eye because he's supposed to have that power. I think God ain't shit. Get it from God. It's like, and this crucifixion shit, it's like, oh my God, like I really hate this shit. It's like, this is to me worse than believing in Santa Claus. It's like, this motherfuckers, they believe kids are innocent. All right, kids are innocent. But we used to believe a fat guy with a red suit on coming down a chimney, giving us presents. We actually believed that crazy ass shit, and our parents actually promoted it and pushed it. Now, the grown-ups are no better than children believing in some invisible entity that supposedly had died on a fucking stick, a Jew on a stick. Yes, I said it. Go ahead and give me a strike, YouTube. Go ahead. I got a second channel. Yep. Motherfuckers out here could benefit off that bread, Cloud. You damn right.
use the letter written by Paul to the Church of Corinth to suggest that, because most scholars will agree that the letters are written by someone named Paul. Not even exactly sure, but there's no proof that Paul actually existed besides from these letters. But
exactly, there's no existence of Paul, even existence besides these letters. There's no other thing referencing Paul anywhere. It's just these fucking letters. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like a motherfucker be like, did Hurykane exist? There would be a lot of evidence to prove of the fact that I have. I got a lot of music all over the place. There's people that know me, but 100 years, maybe 200 years from now, the only way I will be known of existing will be through my bloodline, through my ancestors, or like through the ancestors of my friends. You know what I'm saying? Like that remember the great warrior that fought the government, or like the great warrior that damn near destroyed the goddamn planet, destroying the government in the process. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's some memorable shit. You know what I'm saying? But this crucifixion is supposed to be so memorable that everybody just motherfucker believe this shit. But like, there's no evidence of the fact that these motherfuckers existed. Not just niggas from the New Testament, but motherfuckers from the Old Testament also. It's like, where is Moses' tomb? Where's Noah's tomb? Where's Solomon's tomb? Where's David's tomb? You know what I'm saying? But yet we got these archaeologists, which I call modern day grave robbers. They digging up motherfuckers and taking them across the goddamn world. How the fuck would y'all feel if we go to y'all motherfucking land and dig up y'all gods and take them around the world? Like, look at this. Look what we discovered and found when we dug up some shit that we ain't supposed to been digging up. Desecrating graves and shit. But that's a whole other conversation.
the fact that Paul writes about how somebody told him about how people told them that these 500 people saw Jesus, that would not hold up in court. That would not hold up in any other system of credibility, because this is hearsay to the third person. So therefore, that's not evidence. And the Bible cannot be evidence in of itself. So to suggest that there are other evidence of Jesus being crucified would only be if you had these sources from contemporaries at that time frame. You see, Tacitus writing about what people believe is not a credible source. That's what people believe.
Right. Look up Tacitus. He writing about what people believe. That's not fact. Fuck a Tacitus.
Younger, Pliny the Younger, writing about what people believe. That's not a source. Suetonius writing about what people believe.
Right, because I heard Piso and Pliny helped write the New Testament. Yep.
Not a credible source. Credible sources cannot be when people are writing based on what people believe, and these
Salute.
stories have come second hand, third hand, fourth hand, fifth hand over the course of 100 years. That is not credibility. These people must have a credible source that speaks of it during the time frame that it supposedly happened, and then those historians are repeating the information based on the credibility of people who were there.
Right. So, like, for example, where did Jesus get crucified at? Calvary, whatever. It's supposed to be other nations, other countries, other towns writing about the same incident. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just these one sect of people that's sending letters off the motherfucking places, trying to get motherfuckers to believe, which is some bullshit. But like if I was in Africa and I did some miraculous shit, and there was other people from other nations there, like from Australia or the States or Europe or Russia, Japan, and they was there to see the miracles, and they go back to their respective lands and write about what they saw. Then it'll be proof according to other sources besides the one main source. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, like the Bible can't hold itself up in court. You know, like you need other proof and other sources to motherfucking prove the shit.
So let's say if these 500 people had wrote, or if 25 of them who were literate, because let's say 25%,
Thanks, Kristen.
25%, 25 not percent, 25
Yup.
of the 500 are literate, and then those 25 wrote what they saw
Salute.
at that time frame, in and around 27 to 33 CE, and then Paul is writing based on what those people wrote that has went under the scrutiny of other people at that time frame saying, yes, that is what they saw. Then you have a bit more credibility. When Paul is writing it,
Damn, they are going to fit like 1,000 ads within 5 fucking minutes. Jesus fucking shit, fucking waka flaming fuck.
All the right data to help you get out of the woods.
God damn, I couldn't even skip this shit.
What does cinnamon do for high blood
You
pressure?
can't even skip
Let me
this shit.
show you. Here it is, page 32.
God damn, now I can skip it. Get the fuck out of here.
but when Paul is writing it 50, 60 years later, about what people are claiming that they saw, because somebody else heard about it, because somebody else heard about it from them, that's not credible sources. And neither is the actual existence of Paul, neither is the actual existence of Jesus. And you see, first you have to prove that Paul existed. There's absolutely nothing that actually proves that Paul existed. We have 6 or 7 letters that are written by an author. That author seems to be the same person. That author might even be whom we call Paul of Tarsus. But we have no other proof. We don't have any types of they didn't do birth certificates, but we don't have any type of birth statements. We don't have his family lineage to prove that they existed. We have nothing that shows that he was a Pharisee.
Right, exactly. And the same for all the other key figures in the Bible. Same for all the other key figures. And like some people still try to say that Jesus' bloodline goes back to the Ethiopian king Haile Selassie. Some people still believe that. But Haile Selassie said himself, yo, nigga, I ain't part of that shit. It was like, you know, like real shit. Even though Ethiopia fucks with the book of Enoch. You know what I'm saying? And some people say that Ethiopia has the real Ark of the Covenant. But I think the Ark of the Covenant is hidden somewhere probably at Area 51 or it's under the fucking Vatican. That motherfucker is a goddamn bioweapon or a nuclear weapon or like whatever fucking weapon it is, because according to the lore, I'm on some supernatural shit. According to the lore, that motherfucker, if you touch that bitch and you ain't supposed to touch that bitch, you die. You motherfucker carry that bitch, you drop it and you gotta pick it up, you die. It's like, goddamn, God, why did you kill my mans that were just trying to pick it up if it was about to fall? He wasn't supposed to touch it, nigga. Let it fall. God damn, God, you an asshole.
Have nothing that shows that he was in Roman records that show that this person named
All hearsay.
was held
Yeah.
for sedition or whatnot and was persecuted himself, killed himself, jailed himself. We have nothing that shows that Paul interacted with government officials.
Right, Trump probably
would
got
put him
that
in a situation
motherfucker.
where he would have been recorded. And according to the story, Paul was in jail. According to the story, Paul was killed. There's nothing that demonstrates any of that information. Therefore, Paul could be anyone, which then takes away the authority, especially the story of Paul being knocked off his horse. It's not even a story that Paul tells, but it's a story that is told by the author of Acts, which many believe is Luke, but the author of Acts, who is telling the story of another man getting knocked off his horse, telling pretty much the Bacchae story, a very, very popular Greek story that was created, I believe, in the 3rd century BCE or either the 3rd or the 6th century BCE, and lived for centuries. One of the most world famous plays, lived for centuries. It's like Hamilton, right? Or the Moulin Rouge. How about that? Moulin Rouge. So there's still no credibility. So there's still no credibility to Paul's actual existence outside of the Bible. So therefore, it's a grain of salt. But you have to be able to prove Paul, his existence, before we can even get started.
Right.
With what he claimed. Now, as far as other things that are credible, yes, emperors are easier to give credibility towards because there's documentation that is written at the time, and there's laws that they enact. There's coins that are minted with their face on it. There's all these other types of pottery and things of that nature that would demonstrate. There's empires that they conquered. There's war machines that they ran. So we have a lot more credibility when it comes to leaders, yes, but even people who weren't leaders, we still would have certain levels of credibility. We have Roman records of Josephus. We have Roman records of Pilate. So we can say that Josephus existed. Although he was born in 34, he is not an eyewitness to any Jesus account, and a testimony of Flavianus is known to be a forgery. We have proof. We can believe that Pilate existed. We have Roman records that demonstrate that he was a governor for Judea. But what we don't have is any proof that this governor of Judea presided over the death of this Yeshua who was crucified. None. The Pilate letters have been shown to be forgery. So therefore, we have nothing from Pilate himself accounting for the death of Jesus.
And then finding out that the fucking letters was a forgery. It's a fake. And don't nobody motherfucker be like, all right, fuck this religion. You find out the shit is fake. You find out the shit was forced on you. You find out that the Bible's full of puzzles, mysteries, riddles, contradictions, metaphors, symbolisms, parables, numerology, and a splash of spirituality. Then you will be like, man, fuck this shit.
Yeshua character, zero, zilch. He is not in any Roman records whatsoever. And since Rome was the ruling government for Judea at that time frame, if there were any records, it would be by the Romans. The Romans kept phenomenal records. We have none. We have his belief, we have his hearsay, which neither of those things are proof.
Yep.
It is not. So he traveled all over the world, which means nothing.
All hearsay.
I've traveled all over the world as well. And I've seen a bunch of things. But what I look for is archaeology that proves what was and what happened. And then you have to scrutinize some of the ancient archaeology, because if Helena claimed that this is where the cross was, but she's the mother of the emperor 300 years after the so-called events happened, who's questioning that?
Right.
If she claims that she has the true cross, she's the mother of the emperor of Constantine, who's going to challenge her of that in a time frame when you will be beheaded by challenging the queen mother? So no, we have none, no proof whatsoever of Jesus, of Paul, of the resurrection. So the story is completely invalid. It is based on belief and faith, which is whether you, if that is to believe something with no facts, but to believe something in the face of facts, which creates confirmation bias and cognitive dissonance. This is why we free ourselves to be ourselves, because our greatness is
non-negotiable.
Good
Good
journey.
journey, good vibrations. That's right. That's the coach. I think I got another one. Like the coach just dropped something new. I ain't watch it yet, so we about to listen to it together. Together. There's nothing wrong with you, girl. There's nothing wrong with me. We got a lot of people in the world that goes through ups and downs. All right. So let me stop. I'll fuck around and do a parody to that song. I'll do a parody to that motherfucker. Oh, where is that? Damn. I forgot this one. Poverty is spiritual warfare. I didn't watch this either. But where's the one that what's this one in? It had to be. Yeah. Yeah. The poverty. Yeah. Poverty is spiritual warfare. And this shit crazy. Oh, that's not I hit the wrong shit. Okay, there we go.
Spelling, you know, in Hebrew, oftentimes when you're spelling a word one way, it means one thing, but if you spell it backwards, it means the opposite. Handle it.
Back.
Evil. Evil is a poverty programming trap because poverty is the result of spiritual warfare.
So this is some bullshit on so many levels.
Thank
The
you.
gentleman who is speaking, he's a Christian, but who has made millions of dollars in other businesses. Now he has converted over to being a financial coach. So he's now making his money instead of in a brick and mortar style business or service style business. He's now doing it in the education industry.
I call it the indoctrination industry.
But he's learning to his Christianity. Now, the first thing that I want to say is that it is not common in Hebrew that if a word is spelled one way and then spelled backwards, then it has a certain meaning. This is a very rare thing that happens in Hebrew, but it's a rare thing that happens in most languages. Here's the example there of how evil spelled backwards is lied. So there is a rarity even within the English language. So we can find words, the overwhelming majority of words or all words do not. So him to make the claim that in Hebrew, if you spell a word backwards, it has a different meaning. That is not how Hebrew works at all. And that is not how pretty much any language works at all. But it's a good little con man charisma type thing in order to get people to believe and buy into the script that he's selling. The other part, poverty is a part of spiritual warfare. Now, as many of you guys know, I am now in Seattle, Washington. Staying on base, they have great accommodations for staying on base, these duplexes. I can tell you, I was surprised. Gotta get better and do that. The point is, driving across Texas, Colorado, Oklahoma, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and here in Washington State, there's a lot of poverty. If you're driving on the East Coast, a lot of the poverty is hidden behind the trees along the highway. Since we took a lot of state highways, and also just there aren't as many trees until you get into Montana here, and into Washington, I went to the state, Washington State. It's not a lot of trees. You can see the poverty. You see great distances. Those people are Christian. Those people are Muslim. Those people are Jewish. Those people are atheists. Those people are everything in the. And I've been to many countries that are not predominantly Christian. Poverty is not a spiritual war. Poverty is a part of society that will never go away, but it can be minimized. Poverty is a cycle of not educating people on how to do better. Poverty is a cycle of government interference based on rich lobbyists.
Woo! It's the government. Yes, the government can. The government can eat a dick and die. Pause.
Poverty has nothing to do with spiritual warfare. It has to do with people just not knowing, people putting stumbling blocks in front of people so that they don't.
and the others choose to be in poverty just by smoking, drinking, fucking around, don't want to work, don't want to hustle, don't want to do shit, and just ruin their own life and the lives of the people that surround them, including their fucking children. You know, like that's the rest of them.
For him to state that it's just a spiritual. There are rich atheists, there are poor atheists. There are rich Buddhists, Buddhists, rich Muslims, and every other category. There is the wealthy. If you want to become wealthy, it's about you learning how to become wealthy in the country that you're in the state that you're in, how to budget your money. If you was part of my financial seminar, then on this smile, you have a lot of information on how to change your finances, how to build your credit, how to invest your money. You gain a ton of information in the book that you now have, and hopefully you guys have read it, who participated, of how to fix your credit and build wealth. So there's no reason in most countries that anybody is impoverished. Everybody's not going to be rich. But there's no reason to be impoverished, and it's not about spiritual warfare. It's about each individual taking accountability. Each individual.
Yep, going back to the individual, taking accountability for their actions and choices and changing their life for the better. Instead of spending your money on bullshit, spend your money on some shit that's going to benefit your life.
It starts conversations. Although cash money talks, it starts conversations in most countries. It's about building, buying the home that you live in. If you are struggling financially, and you don't want to pay for much of nothing to learn more, then go online and put in The Richest Man in Babylon PDF. Download that PDF, read that book, understand that.
Yep, that's what I tell people too. Download the PDF file. If you can't buy the book, get the PDF because it downloads to your phone for free. But you gotta delete a lot of shit that you don't need off your phone. So, like, if I need some books, that I want to read, I gotta delete some videos and a whole bunch of motherfucking files of other shit when I was exposing the government. You like some shit that's supposed to be been thrown away or deleted, but I keep the shit just in case I might have to come back to it or I can't find it no more on the internet because the motherfucking Wayback Machine is getting tampered with and you can't go back to find the shit that you motherfucking need anymore because they're trying to wipe the truth from the internet. So chances are a nigga might have to go to the goddamn dark web. You might have to go to the damn dark web in order to get some information. Don't go to the dark web and watch those crazy ass shits. You either go for two reasons: grab some info and grab some weed and get the hell out of there.
I understand that, bro. No excuse not to do better. But, hey, it's up to you in most cases. But other countries, so many government blocks. People are impoverished from changing. That has nothing to do with spiritual warfare. The country says that in order for you to get an education, you have to be Catholic, like in Haiti. That's not spiritual warfare. Or in a country like in Brazil or how South Africa used to be, if they're still that way, that you had to purchase your own uniform and purchase your own books, and impoverished people who didn't have the finances to do that. That's not spiritual warfare. That's government interference. So, I don't know if that dude is pushing, but whatever he's pushing, push away from it. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is not negotiable. Your journey,
good vibrations. All right, now we're about to go to one more video. The meat and potatoes of the motherfucking second sermon at the Hurykane Night Baptist Church. Well, we gon' ask. We gon' ask some questions. Was this it? What believes for short? Did I watch this? Was this it? This had to been it. All right.
Maybe understanding. Well, how to understand. Let me explain. If a society embraces creationism, that doesn't just reflect how it views our origins, it also impacts that society's relationship with information. Knowledge becomes something to pass down, not something to build up. Information becomes something to believe or denounce, not something to process and understand. The longer a society is steeped in that type of reasoning, what is true gets replaced by what is trusted by the people I trust. And so even when individuals in those societies deconstruct from religious ideologies, many of them still get stuck in the same loops of using
Skirt. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Is that living life? Hell no. That is motherfucking slavery. Man, shit, I hate this shit too. I wish we could all just put our mind, money, and resources together, start us a community, and start building. I'm the military sector, so I might be building the walls and the motherfucking sniper and RPG towers and searchlights for us. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I have the soldiers on the front line protecting all of us. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we can. Yep. We can do it. The homeless and having shit, we'll be on some land, off grid. I'll go fuck if we gotta put some tiny homes together. Crack down some walls, put some tiny homes together. You know what I'm saying? Got us a mini mansion.
Understanding evolution may be critical to understanding how to understand. Let me explain. If a society embraces creationism, that doesn't just reflect how it views our origins, it also impacts that society's relationship with information. Knowledge becomes something to pass down, not something to build up. Information becomes something to believe or denounce, not something to process and understand. The longer a society is steeped in that type of reasoning, what is true gets replaced by what is trusted by the people I trust. And so even when individuals in those societies deconstruct religious ideologies, many of them still get stuck in the same loops of using believing as a substitute for understanding. While that believing may not be
do not use belief as a substitute for understanding. And Christians got the nerve to be like, you don't understand the Bible. I'm like, bitch, you don't understand the Bible. I know more of the Bible than you. And they hate when I say that. And then when they try to challenge me, it'd be like, oh my God, how do you know that? It's like, because I used to be you. A brainwashed Christian that don't know no better, that talked in circles and battled with Bible verses. That's all Christians do. This Bible verse, where's yours? The BibleVerseBattle.com. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. And then they cherry pick the Bible verses that make them feel good. And they take the Bible verses that the pastors want them to read, to take home and marinate on it. But real shit, none of this shit reflects our fucking life. None of that shit in the Bible reflects our life. Maybe Samson's story does. Just a little, you know, but that's it. Shit, we can't kill 1,000 people with a jawbone of a donkey. Donkey. Get it from God.
attached to a deity is often very visible and tangible in conversations and can be just as detrimental as religious belief. You hear it in statements like, society is broken, we need to get back to how it was. Human nature will never change. There are just two kinds of people in the world. Every time I hear this one, I always think of astrology. Like, why stop at just two? Go on up for the 12. Life isn't supposed to be like this, or everything would be fine if we just got rid of X group, X person, or X system. Even without belief in a deity, creationist assumptions can linger in how we interpret life, identity, morality, and even progress.
Yeah, and that fucking morality and progress part, that shit is right, is the motherfucking shit right there that's crucial. The morality part. They think this Bible is a book for morality. No, nigga, God is a genocidal, homicidal maniac in this book. And progress, it halts progress, where you can't motherfucker really use your comprehension, critical thinking, and common sense skills. Where you're just stuck, stagnant, while the government got their foot on your neck, you can't even rise above it. You got to motherfucking turn the other cheek. You got to serve the government because the Bible said so. Exodus 21 or Deuteronomy. Therefore, thou shalt serve thy enemy. Why is God sending enemies to people?
Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward truly embracing a complexity emergent worldview. that prizes fluidity, systems awareness, and layered consequence over design, destiny, or fixed meaning. Welcome to today's conversation. Let's start with a crash course on evolution as an emergent property. Evolution, specifically biological evolution, can be understood as an emergent property of the universe, arising from the foundational laws of physics, chemistry, and thermodynamics. But it's important to unpack what that really means and what it implies. An emergent property is a phenomenon that arises when simpler elements interact in complex ways, producing behavior or qualities not found in the individual components themselves. So, from atoms, we get molecules. From molecules, we get complex chemistry. And when you add environmental interaction with that complex chemistry, you get self-replicating systems. Now, take that self-replicating.
Now, for those who don't understand what he's talking about, y'all probably did go to school, but you know, like understanding the mechanics of evolution, thermodynamics, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, chaos theory, just look it up, read it, you know what I'm saying, study it, and study energy, study frequency, and study vibration. This is the creation of the universe. Not no fucking God said, let there be light without a fucking sun, moon, and stars. What the fuck is light? It was a goddamn idea. Eureka! Ding! With a light bulb pops up above your head when you get an idea. I was like, oh shit, let there be light. It's dark as fuck. I can't see. But what is the light? He ain't say he used the sun as a light bulb or the stars as a light bulb. Those were called what they call it, luminaries or some shit like that. So, what the fuck is light? He said you in it because he tested your ass. Right. It's like, why does God have to test people? To test to see if you believe in me. But there's other gods out there that's doing some good shit for their people. I'm going to go fuck with them. You better not leave this motherfucker set, nigga. Gods and goddesses gang banging in the skies above our heads. Nigga, that'd be some funny ass shit to see. Guys from all religions just banging over territory. But the territory is human lives and souls. You know what I'm saying? We are being played in the game of tug of war with our fucking souls, with gods and demons, entities and devils, demigods and gods and all this shit. It's like, don't just leave me alone, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Stop it. Just stop dogging me around. For real, man. I'm on some Michael Jackson shit. Leave me the fuck alone.
Add variation and selection pressures, and you get biological evolution. In this chain, evolution is not programmed into the laws of physics, but once conditioned.
Right. And who birthed that motherfucker? We got to go to the Gnostic doctrine of the secret book of John, or go to the Nag Hammadi scriptures to find out he was born from a chick named Sophia in the Pleroma. And he was tossed out because once she saw the creation of what she created by herself, she was like, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. And then threw that motherfucking nigga in the darkness. But not before giving him a crown and a rainbow and a throne, and then tossing his ass out. But that's the origin of God. Get it from God.
It's like stable molecules, energy gradients, and replication exist, evolution becomes inevitable, a kind of universal algorithm for adaptation and complexity. Now, if evolution is emergent, what does that imply about our universe? Well, quite a few things, actually.
Really consider Indeed like a partner has just been so critical to the success of Ship Sunshine.
Boo.
First, it implies that the universe favors complexity under the right conditions.
Yep, but they don't talk about that part. And the only reason why they don't talk about that part, Crystal, the lovely Crystal, they don't talk about that part because the Gnostics was killed. But right before they got killed, they was burying that shit. They buried those books. They buried the Nag Hammadi scriptures. They buried all that shit. They motherfucking they buried all that shit. And then it got dug back up in the 40s, and it got deciphered in the 70s, and now we know about the origin of gold. Get it from gold. And it's kind of funny though, I'm glad that it has resurfaced, because people would have still been brainwashed to not knowing that, like on why God is evil, or like why shit the way it is. I'm like, why is there suffering in the world? Why is there shit? And when they go across the Dead Sea Scrolls and they read the secret book of John, they're gonna be like, oh shit, I can't fuck with this book. If God is real, I can't fuck with him. Like, it's just like seeing all the shit, like a person with a critical thinking, common sense skills and comprehension skill. They be like, man, if this God is fucking real, I will not worship this motherfucker. I denounce this motherfucker. I take back all my prayers that I ever prayed for this motherfucker. Like, I'm done. This don't matter if you're black or white. Once you find out the motherfucking truth, you will be disturbed. And you know what's crazy is that shit is in Proverbs. When you find out the truth, you will be fucking disturbed. But they say fear not and rejoice or some shit like that. But yeah, when you find out the truth, you'll be pissed. That's why Malcolm X was pissed. Malcolm X used to motherfucker follow the honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he found out he was fucking hoes and having kids and wasn't being there for him. And it made Malcolm X be like, yo, he was talking reckless and shit. But at the end of the day, you don't cross the boss. So what? He's immoral, but that's your boss. Don't say shit. Keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? Keep the shit to yourself. Just know that, just don't give him too much praise next time. That's all. Yep, because it's a woman. Yep, because it's a woman. Exactly. They want to keep the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. What the fuck is a ghost? Sound like some poltergeist shit to me. It sounds like some poltergeist shit to me. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. A father and son and a motherfucking invisible being saying, what up, though, nigga? I'm Casper. Like, what the fuck is going on here? This guy's my man. Let me holler at her. Yeah, you feel me? Let me holler at her. Motherfucker used to be like, when I go to heaven, I'm going to slap Eve and Adam and shit for fucking up. Like, dog, let's find the motherfucker that created God.
Same laws that govern star formation and entropy also make complex chemistry and life possible. Life is not guaranteed everywhere, but given enough time, matter, and energy flow, complexity tends to emerge. Second, order from chaos isn't a fluke, it's a tendency. Despite the second law of thermodynamics, entropy increases, localized decreases in entropy are not only possible, they're natural in open systems like planets receiving energy from a star. Evolution is one way order organizes itself temporarily in a universe tending toward disorder. Third, we are part of the universe becoming aware of itself. If evolution is emergent and consciousness is a product of evolution, then self-awareness is an emergent property of the universe. That positions intelligent life not as an accident, but as a possible expression of universal laws. Fourth, there's no intrinsic meaning, but there is a pattern. Evolution doesn't intend anything, it's blind, but the patterns it creates are not random. They're shaped by feedback loops, constraints, and histories. This challenges teleological views while still allowing for a kind of wonder rooted in reality. And number five, we are not the end, just a step. If evolution is a universal process, we are a transient phase in a larger continuum of unfolding complexity. Evolution didn't stop with us. It may continue through artificial intelligence, societal shifts, or even cosmic scale life forms.
Damn, I was just about to say some shit like that. It's like the next step they're trying to go for is transhumanism. We're going to be merging with machines. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be pure bloods versus liquid blood, whatever the fuck blood is going to be inside these motherfucking robots. I'm hearing that sex robots can get pregnant now. They got incubators in sex robots now. It is the end of the world that we know it. It is the end of the world that we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it, but I feel fine. Put the Sade incubator robot on layaway for 2030, motherfucker. That shit is disgusting. Just thinking about it, like, ew. Like ew. All right. Motherfuckers marrying they sex dolls, sex bots. Like, come on. Just when you thought back in the 90s where Dennis Rodman married himself, we thought that was the craziest shit on television. We thought that was the craziest shit on television. We thought nothing could top that. I saw a lot of crazy shit, but seeing Dennis Rodman, a basketball player, marry himself with the dress on and everything. Like, what the fuck is he on? They telling Michael Jordan, like, nigga, we do not want this nigga on this team. Michael Jordan be like, bitch, I'm the superstar, and I need those motherfucking rebounds. You better get me Dennis Rodman. Yes, sir, Jordan. Yes, sir.
Evolution is an emergent property of the universe. Then life, intelligence, and even morality are not foreign to the cosmos. They are
I'm good. I'm a dancing.
existence not as a divine mandate or a cosmic fluke, but as the universe experimenting with itself, their complexity. So now let's talk about humanity as a consequence of complexity. If we stop seeing humanity as the product of intentional design or creation and start seeing it as an emergent complexity, then we must fundamentally rethink how we think, especially when making decisions and evaluating ideas. Rejecting the idea of divine creation means discarding the notion of fixed purpose, blueprint, or predetermined morality. Instead, we acknowledge humanity is emergent, adaptive, and evolutionary. Behavior, morality, culture, and consciousness are
Exactly. I don't trust humans. Think I'm gonna trust a fucking robot? I feel you. One moment they're fixing you dinner, and the next moment they're choking you out. It's a wrap. You know, one moment they doing surgery in the hospital, helping the patient. The next moment it's using a fucking slicer blade to eradicate everybody in the hospital room. It is fucking crazy. It is weird, and they're pushing it through these ads. They're pushing it through these videos. They got the robot cop dogs and the robot motherfucking drones that can blast your ass. It's the end of the world as we know it, but I feel fine.
fluid, not fixed. Systems, from religion to government to families, are not divine mandates, but complex, negotiated outcomes. This reframes how we should approach problem solving, identity, ethics, and progress. We can no longer appeal to
I always feel like somebody's watching me. Ain't got no privacy. Oh,
a creator's intent. We have to own the consequences of our choices in a dynamic, evolving system. This is where it becomes necessary to think in orders of consequences. In a complex, interconnected world, linear cause and effect isn't enough. We need to develop layered reasoning. So think first order consequences, immediate. These are the obvious direct effects of a decision. For example, raising minimum wage increases earnings for low wage workers. Second order consequences would be the short term ripple, the indirect effects caused by the first order outcomes. For example,
right. Don't get
employers may
fooled,
reduce
y'all.
hours or raise prices to compensate. And there are also third order consequences, long term and systemic. They are the complex, less visible effects over time or across systems. So in this scenario, it could be consumer behavior shifting, policy momentum growing, or even societal values around labor changing. Let's talk about why this matters, especially after deconstructing. If you're leaving behind the belief in a divine plan, you're also leaving behind guaranteed outcomes, shortcuts, and cosmic safety nets. So now you bear the responsibility of thinking deeply about the consequences of your beliefs, your actions, and your systems. It's not just about what seems right now, but it leads to next and next again. So a policy might feel moral, first order, but erode institutions or deepen inequalities over time, that's second and third order. Telling the truth feels righteous, but if done without care, can harm someone's mental health, second order, leading to breakdowns in trust, third order. Leaving religion, first order relief, may cause family or social rupture, second order, which could
Yep, you're gonna lose family and friends. Basically, it don't matter if you leave religion, It don't matter if you want to take time out to yourself. Motherfuckers gonna be like, you changed. You ain't the same motherfucker no more. Come to church. Nope. I just want to be alone. I just want to do me. Leave me alone. I want to go to work, come home, do my thing. Leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, what's wrong? Because you're full of drama, bitch. I was like, what? He just started going ham on bitches, just like saying everything and exposing everybody. Like, leave me alone. I don't want to hear about your fucking problems no more. Stop trauma dumping on me, you dumb bitch. All you have to do is just say no and just go ham on these motherfuckers.
Shape identity and relationship frameworks. Third order. When you no longer see yourself as the product of creation, rather as a part of an evolving complexity, your thinking must evolve too. This includes learning to see beyond immediate effects, anticipate unintended outcomes, and understand feedback loops, systems, and contexts. This is mature, liberated thinking, and it's essential for building an ethical, secular world prompting responsibility, not superstition. So let's move on to the emergence of understanding. When someone sees the world through the lens of creation, they are more likely to think in absolutes: right, wrong, good, evil, true, false. In this framework, belief is the goal, certainty is the virtue, and complexity is often dismissed as confusion or distraction. But once we accept that humanity is not the result of a divine blueprint, but rather the outcome of complex emergent processes, we are forced to evolve how we process information. Belief isn't enough. We must understand. Understanding requires us to think beyond the immediate. So there's a meaningful shift that happens when someone moves from being a believer to becoming an understander. And it reshapes how they think, decide, and engage with complexity. Believers.
Yep. So leave out of belief and get into understanding. With me, I want y'all to get into the state of knowing. Know thyself. Know who you are. Know that you wake up every day. You don't fuck nobody over. You ain't lying to nobody. You ain't stealing. You ain't killing. You're doing your own fucking thing. You're being true to you. You don't have to be Christian to do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to wake up and think that you are a sinner. You're not. You're not. You're not a sinner because you ain't harming nobody. You don't wake up and even think about that shit. But we have evil people that run this planet, wake up every day, and they find multiple ways on deleting us. This population control through biochemical warfare, nuclear warfare, psychological warfare, putting you through some spiritual warfare. But nigga, your spiritual battle is over today. Because after today, you will know thyself. You will believe in yourself. But fuck it, not believe in yourself. You will know thyself. You will know that you are a god. And for my ladies, you are a goddess. You create your own peaceful, joyful, happy reality away from this bullshit we call society that's trying to warp our reality to being like them in a dystopian idiocracy.
They're driven by a desire to arrive at certainty. They want
Salute.
answers that feel true right now, something they can accept and hold on to. Their cognitive mode prioritizes immediate coherence. If something makes enough sense in the moment, it's good enough to believe. Understanders, on the other hand, are driven by the need to accumulate insight. They are willing to sit with ambiguity, to gather more data, to resist premature conclusions. Their thinking style holds tension until they've explored more angles. Believers tend to make decisions based on first-order consequences, what seems right or effective right away. Understanders naturally think in second and third-order terms, asking what ripple effects or systemic impacts might emerge over time. When faced with complexity, believers tend to seek simplicity, often reducing nuanced realities into binary categories. Understanders, in contrast, seek integration. They want to connect ideas, hold contradictions, and synthesize rather than simplify. This is the shift from belief-based thinking to complexity-conscious understanding, a shift that's essential for navigating a universe not built by design, but emerging through dynamic, layered processes. Let's talk about why this matters in the context of consequence thinking. First-order thinkers are belief-oriented. They're going to ask, does this feel true? They're going to prioritize quick coherence over deep consequence. So an example, if we teach abstinence, people won't have sex before marriage. The problem is this ignores long-term effects like shame, misinformation, teen pregnancy, or trauma. Now, second-order thinkers are typically understanding-oriented. The ask is, what does this imply next? The purpose is to consider ripple effects and identify any contradictions. So, for example, if we teach abstinence only, what beliefs will teens form about their bodies and relationships? But then there's also third-order thinkers, which will say are systems-oriented. But the ask is, how does this idea reinforce or dismantle larger systems over time? The desire is to understand cultural feedback loops, power dynamics, and identity formation. So an example could be, what kind of society are we building if people's self-worth is tied to purity or shame? Belief is satisfied by clarity in the moment. Understanding is fueled by clarity over time. People who believe want to feel something is probably true right now. People who understand are gathering insights so they can trace what will be true next and next again. If we want to evolve beyond superstition, we must learn to value understanding over belief, because only understanding teaches us to think beyond the immediate and prepare for the full complexity of human consequence. Let's integrate this entire framework and transition from emergence to ethics. If humanity is not a creation, then there's no divine design, no fixed destiny, no cosmic instruction manual. What does that mean? It means that the human experience, our emotions, societies, technologies, and moral frameworks are the byproducts of emergent complexity. They're not handed down, they are built up. And when that's true, the way we think has to evolve with it. If biological evolution is an emergent property, a result of atoms becoming molecules, molecules organizing into replicators, and replicators competing over time, then everything about us is the outcome of compounding layers of interaction, which means our biology is layered, our behavior is layered, consciousness is layered, consequences are layered, and therefore our thinking must be layered as well. In a creation-centered mindset, belief works fine. If you're handed a system, you obey it. But in a complexity emergent universe, understanding becomes essential. You're not obeying a script. You're interpreting signals from systems that build on one another. As I stated earlier, if evolution is an emergent property of the universe, then life, intelligence, and even morality are not foreign to the cosmos. They are woven into the fabric of possibility. That means moral reasoning is emergent, not decreed. Justice is a process, not a commandment. Progress is iterative, not predestined. And thinking well, with depth and discipline, is the only way to responsibly navigate it. When you stop thinking creation and start thinking complexity, you let go of belief as a landing pad. You adopt understanding as a compass, and you train your mind to ask not just what something means today, but it sets into motion tomorrow. That's not just intellectual, that's ethical. Because complexity doesn't just require curiosity, it requires care. I hope you enjoyed this conversation today.
That's what's up. Now, that shit might go over a lot of people's heads, but everybody in here, I know y'all smart enough to comprehend. Y'all know what's going on. We gotta live in a state of knowing. Live in a state of understanding and knowing. But most motherfuckers argue with the word understand. It's like, I don't understand, I overstand. I don't overstand, I understand. I don't do none of those things, I understand. How about let's stand on the truth together? In the Hurykane night Trappist church, where we gonna ask some questions. You already know what it is. This is the end of the show. You already know. Hurykane Sunday Hood service, second sermon. You know what I'm saying? Check out my first sermon from earlier. I forgot what I talked about, but anyway. Shouts out to everybody coming through. Y'all the truth. Shout out to T-Style. I wish I could play some music, but they took away the feature, so I gotta get me a computer in order to play my music again and shit. I try to get a laptop for like $200, $250, $175. But shit, these bills is eating me up. So I'm saving little by little until I get it. But every time I have the bread, something always comes up. I hate that shit. But shouts out to Crystal, it's cool. Shouts out to T-Style. Who else was in the building? Shouts out to Bearded Conversation. Make sure y'all go to the Bearded Tabernacle. I think he starts up in a couple hours. They give everybody time to chill, relax, probably eat something. Shouts out to Warfare K. Salute. Been a minute. Shouts out to Live and Learn. What's good? What's good? Thanks for coming to the church. Shouts out to Relentless. Make sure y'all subscribe to Relentless. He got good music too, y'all. He got some good music too. Subscribe to everybody. The underground sound is the best sound. Shouts out to Jalen. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, though? Shouts out. Shouts out. Who else was in the building? Who else was in the building? I think that was it. And shouts out to everybody that's in the back that was just watching and listening. It's all good. Y'all just listening in the bushes. It's all good. It's all good. Church door is still open for everybody. You know, at the Hurykane Night Traptist Church, where I give everybody a pack. Tell them to go sell that and bring the money back. Spread the word of God. Get it from God. God. Shouts out to everybody coming through. Make sure y'all go to the Bearded Tabernacle at Bearded Conversations. I think he's starting a couple hours. The church is still gonna be flowing. Keep them doors open. Shouts out to everybody. Everybody. Y'all the truth. It's the Hurykane Sunday Hood service. We out.